Hey, I'm Brody Brazil, and welcome to Teal Town After Dark.
Thanks so much, Brody Brazil. Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, March 1st, 2019. The San Jose Sharks return home in stealth mode and pull off a 4-3 hard-fought victory over the Colorado Avalanche for a big win that they so desperately needed. Welcome, everyone, to Teal Town After Dark Stealth Mode. This is your live and interactive Sharks post-game show on YouTube. We welcome nearly the 1,200 subscribers joining us tonight. And if you want to be part of the show, there's new Interact with us. Chat with us and fellow Sharks fans in the YouTube chat on the page or the app. Or if you want to check us out, go on the Twitter machine and hashtag or add us at TealTownUSA. But of course, follow us on the social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, or our YouTube channel. We appreciate every one of you, and we do this for you after every single Sharks game, home and away. We're here for you. He's also here with me. Well, that's the guy who spells his name the right way. His name is Eric Landy.
What's up, guys? Sharks get like you said, a much needed win, and I think needed because they looked a little dominated against Boston, and needed to kind of reestablish their game. It's the first game coming back on home ice, so we always know how the Sharks like to drop that one. But it was nice to see them play really well, and yeah, I'm excited to kind of break down this game.
And I should say it's Friday night, not Thursday night. Silly me for extending the work week one more day. But I digress. I also say hello to Mr. Al Martinet.
Hey, kind of following the same thoughts as Landy. Great game. At least it was a great overall effort against Colorado. Really up and down 4-game trip or 3-game trip. If they really lost that game against the Red Wings, we'd be talking a lot more about the performance during the road trips. But really surprising performance all around. Sorensen, Nyquist, really great to see those guys really gel in the third line.
Definitely. It's going to be interesting 18 games game 2 for them. It'll be interesting to see, and hopefully just a matter of time before that line gels even more. Let's get at it. Sharks have 18 games remaining, 12 at home. That's right. Most of their home games are at home. So let's get at it and grip it and rip it. And 418 in, Marcus Sorensen, his 12th of the season from Burns and Jumbo to make it 1-0 San Jose. Landy, the guy comes off taking a puck to the mouth, 12 stitches right above his lip. Makes a return to the lineup. He was a game time decision, and what a decision that was.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Thornton wins a great face-off. Just really ate the Avalanche breakfast in the face-off, or sorry, Avalanche lunch in the face-off circle. I guess it would be screwed up even more because I guess it's dinner, right? Because it's 7:30 at the tank. But I digress. He gets it out to Burns. Burns puts it on net, and Sorensen makes his great Joe Pavelski impression in front of the goal and tips it in.
And nice one. Nice tip in from Burnsy on that one to make it 1-0. But Al, as we kind of finish up the first period, because there really wasn't too much scoring or penalty wise there, you definitely had the penalty from Shimmick at 13:48 for hooking Mikko Rantanen, but definitely the Sharks really dominated the first period.
Yeah, really good start. Really controlling the flow. Really when it comes down to the Avalanche, you really just need to stop Nate McKinnon. Tonight he only had 2 shots, but the main thing with the Colorado Avalanche is you don't turn over the puck. You'll feed into that transition game. The Sharks did a reasonable job, unlike Boston, which really did, spin out of control in the second, third periods. Only 2 shots for Nate McKinnon. Seems like it's a win all around. If you can stop him, you can stop the Avalanche, and that seems to be the playbook right now for the Avalanche.
In the Avalanche, we're coming to points in a tight wild card race right now. And I thought they controlled the Avalanche a lot. Through the first 40 minutes, and Colorado is known for being a great third period team. They held them at bay, and especially after that first period where they outshot them 9-6, face percent to 33. But as the second period progressed, the teams would get a little more even. Despite in the second period, the Sharks outshot the Avalanche 18-7 in that middle frame, and it all started with Meyer with a sweet shot to get his 22nd of the season from Pavelski at 2:35, made it 2-0 Sharks. Think of Timo time at 8:35 p.m.
Landy?
I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry, you're cutting in and out there, puck guy. Timo Meyer. I mean, talk about a guy who was a little snake bitten who needs to pick up the scoring. So it's good to see him, on the score sheet. Pavelski picks up the assist on that one and gives the Sharks a 2-0 goal. At that point, the Sharks are really rolling. I felt like they were really controlling a lot of the play. It's interesting because, Al, I felt like the team could keep up with them blow to blow as far as speed goes, because Colorado's known as kind of a burner team. And, I thought the Sharks played pretty well. They kind of adapted their up passes by doing short east-west passes and then a long up pass. So they kind of played a little bit faster than, their bodies can move.
Yeah, and I was surprised that Joe Thornton was able to skate with Colorado, not turn over the puck, create some opportunities for Sorensen and Nyquist, which that seems like that's a great fitting for Nyquist, who I don't think he's ever been a speed demon on the ice. So having that weapon where you can shoot, maybe you can turn him into a 30-goal scorer with Jumbo's assist ability. But really surprised effort by Sorensen, who 11 goals on this season. That's kind of a surprise so far.
Yeah, no, I think adding a guy like Nyquist onto that line, it gives them a little bit more of an option because, LeBanc is very much a pass-first guy, and as you kind of went through a little bit further on in the evening, we could definitely see his playmaking ability. But Nyquist, I think, is a little bit more of a natural fit on that line. Kind of gives Jumbo 2 options there. And, it's also kind of nice to see Jumbo being flanked by 2 Swedes.
Hopefully he likes the meatballs from IKEA.
Hey, they're damn good.
Hey.
Not too bad. Well, they're not made of horse meat. All right.
So I think we left off on the Nikita Zadorov goal. He scores that 4:55 into the second period. Zadorov 7th from Landeskog and Cole. Guys, I have my thoughts on this goal. I think one, it was a really quick kind of bomb from the point, so there's not a lot that Jones can do. However, I have kind of seen this play out this season over and over and over again. When is Jones going to get a little bit of a physical presence in the net? Guys, he doesn't look like he's making his own space out there. He doesn't look like he's getting his own kind of vision sight lines. He's kind of letting people kind of come in front of him.
I think it looks worse in slow mo. I mean, everything looks worse when the goal scored against you in slow mo, but um, God, the screen didn't really look like it made much of an effect on him. It just seemed like it was a quick screen and the puck was already past him. Um, and you're absolutely right, Landy. I'm really worried about Jones at this point too.
Yeah, his confidence it just does not look correct. And Puckeye, can you go ahead and expound a little bit?
Well, I looked at it as, and I just looked at the replay here just to double check it. Vlasic tried to get it to clear it out, but in a worse sense, he kind of was was more of a screen than the Av in front was, and I, he hasn't been one to kind of like push the forward out of the way or something to get out of there. I think he's kind of relying on his defenseman to do that for him, and unfortunately on this one, I think there was more distraction by clearing it out. Be like, I'll go with my props here. Here, we'll use Owen Nolan on this one. But it'd be like me trying to stay focused on something coming from the distance and just seeing that little guy coming right around. It's like you kind of see and then goes away, and then oh crap. Um, the one that comes to mind is when it was Matt Murray in Game 3 of the Cup final when Braun shot that first goal in. Murray didn't even move, and Carlson made a nice screen there. So I kind of give it on the defense more than anything. But yeah, but guys, I thought early on Jones was fantastic in this game. I thought he played spectacular with some big saves to keep this thing 1-0 early.
Yeah, no, I agree, and we're getting some issues here. Chris Santa Cruz Sharks. Landy is at a 10, and Puck Guy is at a 1. Let me see if I can't adjust the volume knobs
You
here.
try that because I haven't moved anything and might have to call it a night, boys, if this is keeping up.
Hold on. Let's see here. Okay, how's that? Is that better?
We apologize for the technical delay. It is not your TV set.
No, it's just me being loud.
So hopefully we got that going here. We'll adjust and make it go the rest of the way out there. So as we move along here at 1936, just before the period ended, despite Ian Cole hooking Joe Pavelski, which was a pretty blatant call there. But the Sharks didn't get a goal, but they looked promising on the power play. But near the end of the period, and one of those things that Alex, they talk about those last minute goals, the beginning of the period and more so at the end of the period. But Marcus Sorensen again gets a second of the game from Hurdle and Bank. I get essentially in the middle of a line change at 1936, 3-1
Yep.
San Jose. Definitely kind of put Colorado on their heels for the third period right then and there as he tapped in Hurdle's post shot.
Yeah, it was a great dump in play and Hurdle off the post. I thought Hurdle had a great game, matched up well against Colorado, really made it an even play in terms of speed. Speed is something that we don't really have on the ice, but Colorado, we matched up against Colorado pretty well. It's been going through kind of a little bit of a goal drought of lately since that kind of a tier in early January, I would say, but it seems like he's getting back on the right track. Kane didn't start today, so I'm wondering if this is going to be the lineup going forward for at least a week until Kane comes back. Looked like he took some type of an injury against the Pittsburgh game. So
No, it was a Boston game. It was when he was up against Chara. And he also went into the boards really quickly, and I was actually surprised that he came back out after that. But yeah, his is day to day, and Carlson has been he's going to be out at least a week for Peter DeBoer. That was earlier today, and I think Kane was kind of more of a day to day game time decision kind of deal. So I don't think that Kane. I'm not too worried about Kane. I'm a little bit worried about Erik Karlsson and just the way that he's kind of had to baby this groin injury, and we saw Burns have this similar injury, and that's when they pressed him back up to forward, and they did that because it affected his backward skating.
Yep.
So it's a similar type injury, and it's a little concerning. If it were me, I would just say, hey, err on the side of caution. If you want to give him a couple of weeks, this team can definitely, this team is not lacking for defensive talent. That's for sure.
You heard it here first. Erik Karlsson to forward.
I was just gonna say that. Karlsson to
actually,
forward.
but you guys say that, but he might make a pretty damn good center as far as a playmaking center.
Dude, let's not even go this direction.
Are you kidding me? You're gonna start this right now?
Hey, he's the next
18
Red
games
Kelly,
to go,
guys.
Landy.
He's the next Red Kelly, guys. Come on, the guy won Stanley Cups as a defenseman and as a center.
Oh boy!
I believe that was Toronto and Detroit.
The fourth most overrated player in the NHL.
Yeah, that according to anonymous poll from The Athletic. Yeah, that's a little iffy. I say on that one, but I digress. Yeah, someone over there giving Rocket. I got it for you. Really, Landy.
Yeah.
He spells his name the right way. You think we're gonna go start the forward conversation?
Yeah. At least he has the internet connection. Let's put it that way.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
right.
Shut up. All right, you two.
Rob Iman asking, do we think that EK hits the injured reserve? I don't think so. Just because after the trade deadline, you can keep as many players as you want on the roster. So I don't see that being kind of an issue. The only reason why you would put them on there is to try and make some room. As far as either the cap or roster size, and like I said, roster size isn't really an issue. So I wouldn't expect him to go on IR, because then of course you have to wait. You can retroactive or an IR, of course, but if you don't, then you have to wait a certain amount of period before you can bring him back out. So I don't think so, and it doesn't sound like it was too much of an aggravation to the injury. It just sounds like they're trying to be a little bit more cautious. And to be quite honest, we really didn't talk a lot about it, but I kind of question the coaching staff's decision to put him out on the ice in that Boston game. The ice was not good. It was very soft. It seemed like everybody, including Bruins players, were just slipping and sliding. And for a guy who's got a groin injury and soft ice, that's not a great combination, guys.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd rather have Karlsson sit out the next 3 weeks, come back healthy as you can, get a week of playing time, and before the playoffs. That's the ideal situation. If you have to put him on the IR, so the coach doesn't put him out just because they need to, I do it. But PDB has done that now once, but twice. Now he's re-aggravated the same injury.
In the groin is a
that's a hell of an injury
to figure out. Yeah, I like Brody said on pregame, it's either rest it or you test it, and he tested it for those 2 games, and that was not pretty.
No.
Yeah. But I think though that I have a sneaking suspicion that they're going to take a little bit more time with this one, and not, he seems kind of like a guy like Jumbo, where he'll push the envelope a little bit because he wants to be out there, which is, that's a great quality to have, but you also need to know when you have an injury that's easily aggravated, it doesn't pay to try and go out there and especially if you're going to re-injure it. So, I'm with Al. Give him a couple of weeks. If you want to give him a couple of weeks later to tune up his game going into the playoffs, this team is definitely not lacking for defensive talent. Tim Heed has played an awesome game, being called upon when needed, and he's playing great. And you also have Joakim Ryan, another guy. It's just the Sharks have 8 defensemen. We kind of questioned it at the beginning of the year, but you know what? DW has proven why you keep all 8 of them, and going forward, those are going to be hot commodities, I think.
And how big is it? Because we heard rumors about Joakim Ryan. How big is it now to have him in the press box and not with another team? That's a huge thing right now for depth wise. Because are you going to go to Middleton and try to force him in with the Sharks or D Simone? I have a tough time trying to feel that I feel safer if Ryan is here than not.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
So,
And going into the playoffs, of course, you're going to need 8 defensemen, and that's just kind of how it is. But guys, there is one player though who kind of created a lot of ire in the Sharks fandom. But Haley, I mean, I thought Haley played a pretty decent game tonight. Very physical. Making his presence known. He had a few misses of the puck, right? I mean, he had some passes that were kind of fumbled and almost had a breakaway and stuff. And you can clearly see that the skill is not there. But he wasn't making a lot of defensive, mistakes. And I felt that he really changed the presence going into that third period, especially at the beginning of the third period. Puckeye, if you want to kind of pick it up with the Mikko Rantanen goal.
yeah, Mikko Rantanen at 10:08 on the power play as Brendan Dillon took a slashing penalty on Nathan McKinnon there at 9:32. Rantanen 10:08 from Landeskog and Kerfoot on the power play to make it 3-2. The Avs are known for having a great big third period here, and they weren't going away. They definitely turned the tides on the Sharks here in the third.
Yeah, and I think that's all the more reason why that late power play that Joe Pavelski scores his 36th goal from LeBanc and Couture. I think that insurance goal really gave them the cushion. And like I was saying a little bit earlier before, LeBanc, I mean, he's turned into such a great playmaker. Tonight, guys, I was impressed, yes, with the playmaking, but I was impressed with his defensive back checking. This guy seems, after the All-Star break, really invested in the defensive side of the game. Of course, he does get pushed off. He's kind of smaller. He's going to need to pack on a few pounds onto his frame, really protect the puck a little more. This is a guy who's really creative, quietly putting together another great season. I mean, he's got 32 assists on the campaign already, and having a career year. And really, for a guy again who draws a little bit of ire from the Sharks fandom because he doesn't shoot as much as we want him to. This is another one of those diamonds in the rough that DW just, for whatever reason, is able to get those 5th rounders, 6th rounders, 7th rounders to work.
Yeah, I really think LeBanc has found a good spot in the first line power play. I find it interesting that Pavelski is sliding into that left wing slot more than LeBanc is. I didn't expect that combination to work with LeBanc. Was it Hurdle, Couture, Burns? I don't know who the other defenseman on the power play is, but it seems like they're going with 4 forwards and 1 defenseman.
Yes, 4 forwards and 1 defenseman, and that 1 defenseman is normally Burns. He's your point shot option, whereas LeBanc is your point playmaker. Kind of playing a similar role to what Patrick Marleau used to play on the power play. Also, Pavelski also used to occupy that when we used to have the jumbo heated patty forward line, and then you had
the good old burger line.
Yep, with Little Joe on the back end, with Bernsey on the other side, or Couture. Couture would also occupy that spot as well. So, but like again, I think he's a great, he's a great playmaker with a lot of vision. He can see what he wants to do a couple of steps ahead. And it's almost to the point where the mind is working a little bit faster than the hands. And, that'll come. You can definitely teach hands and definitely practice hands, but you cannot teach the hockey IQ that this kid's got. And it's cliche, but really his vision, you just look at there, and his offensive instincts are very good. I mean, he's got, he's first round pedigree, in my opinion, and if you would have known what kind of player he would have turned into, I think you would have spent a middle first rounder on a kid like this.
Completely agree. And like just another Randy G said, LeBanc had a great game except for that weird bad giveaway in the first where he literally gave the puck to that one.
I didn't know what he was trying to do. Was he trying to get back in the box like he normally does?
Yeah, I think he was having such a good defensive game. He just was like, okay, I have to do something to fuck this up. Excuse me.
Oh, there's a swear jar.
Yeah. Just kind of quickly piggybacking off of a career year, he's at right now 32 assists. So he's got 43 points. His career high was 40 points last year. That was 11 goals and 29 assists this year. He's got 11 goals and 32 assists with only 65 games played. So, we're looking at another 50-point forward here, guys. 50 points is not out of the realm of possibility. He could be a 55. I don't think 60, but I'm in that 50 to 55 point range, and I'd be pretty confident that he would reach that.
Yeah, it's quite possible. I mean, to have 41 points to get 9, basically averaging a half a point a game for the rest of the year is quite possible. I wouldn't be surprised. And a great job for a guy that was picked 6th round, 171st overall in 2014. It's kind of like Pavs all over again. So, and he at the morning skate today, he was practicing his one-timers. He with Jumbo, and he definitely is trying to expand his game, and it's starting to show a little bit more for sure. To finish up the scoring, Samuel Girard gets his 4th from Landeskog and McKinnon. Not even a minute after Pavelski made it 4-2, make it 4-3. And then the Sharks kind of just get into shutdown mode as Colorado kind of came on late again, but wasn't enough. They finished the game 40-25 in favor of San Jose in shots. Sharks hang on to get the face-off wins at 58-42. Both teams each get a power play goal here. Sharks go 1-for-3. Avalanche go 1-for-2. I thought the Sharks definitely had some good scoring chances on all 3 of them. Hits 18-13 in favor of Colorado. Blocks 22-13 in favor of the Avs. Giveaways, however, Sharks had a little bit more, 12-7 there. I know you guys touched on Nyquist earlier. Him and Hurdle led the team in 5 shots on goal. I not that he's wearing my number or anything, but he definitely is giving the scoring options big time, guys.
Yeah, Landy, your camera.
Yeah, no, sorry, I just put my my screen down for a second.
I think it's going to take a couple of games for Nyquist to understand what the Sharks are trying to do with him on the 3rd line, but I think this was a great first game. I don't think you could say the Boston game was ever ever a good start. He was still finding his way. That was maybe 24 hours after the trade. He did look a little bit gassed, I will say, on the 2-on-1. So with Joe Thornton, but we won't get into that. You can look up Kevin Kersh's tweet.
Yeah, no, I agree. But no, I mean, it's interesting because I don't know if it was you, Al, that was saying that, he's not really known to be really a quick player, but I noticed him flying up and down the ice, and he had that breakaway speed on that 2-on-1 because he was kind of farther back in the play than a lot of people realize. And then he put on the jets to make that 2-on-1 work. So, I think he's got deceptive speed. He might not be like the fastest, all out skater, but I think he's got that deceptive speed where he can just pop the clutch and, kick it into a different gear, kind of like what Evander Kane has. Not as quick, but definitely has that pop in the clutch ability for sure.
He is a fast skater, but in Detroit, he was one of the sole focuses of that offense. And, he's kind of like the Kate McKinnon, or he was like the Kate McKinnon of the Colorado Avalanche. When the defense structures your game plan around you, you're going to be limited in a lot of ways. And so when you have Joe Thornton as your passer, there's a lot of potential with Nyquist. And it's just going to take a couple of games for him just to understand what Joe likes, vice versa.
I think it was even the broadcast was saying that, he's still got to learn the lingo that the Sharks use, as far as, the F1, F2 kind of deal, the actual X's and O's. He said that he's still not super comfortable. But apparently he's already starting to move into an apartment in San Jose. I mean, it sounds like he really bought into it. And, I don't know what kind of sell job Erik Karlsson did to get him to waive his no trade to come. But guys, I mean, that bodes really well for an EK65 extension. And, I think we might see them both be signed, especially because Nyquist is kind of a younger guy. I think he's 28, 29. So, have another guy locked up, another 50-point player locked up. And, maybe that sways, Erik Karlsson to stay too.
I don't know. I don't know about Erik Karlsson. Just how many games has he actually played as a San Jose Shark? That's the thing.
But I think that bodes well. I think the more he misses, I think the more of a better chance I give the Sharks to sign him. And the reason why I say that is because he's always had a durability question mark. So, the Sharks know the product. They know what they would get into. So, I think that they would be in a better position to offer something a little bit more lucrative than somebody else, because they'll look at that injury history and go, I don't know if I want to touch that. Of course, you'll always want to pay for a Norris Trophy winner, but I think there would be some hesitation.
I know, but to keep the current core, I mean, Timo has his contract coming up. You have Pavelski contract year again. Yep. And then Erik Karlsson. I think LeBanc is another one, right?
I'll look it up really quick.
Yeah.
I know Donskoy's on there as well.
He can go.
Wow.
I mean, but you kind of circle. I think I circled Justin Braun as the guy that is expendable, because you have a Joakim Ryan kind of waiting in the wings.
Yes.
I think you can also look at Melker Karlsson's contract and say that's kind of a little rich for what he brings. The guy that I think Timo is going to take a bridge deal, and the reason why I say that is because he really fell off in the second half. It seemed like in that first half he was going to be like a 30 or 40 goal scorer. He still might break 30, but it would be really tough. It's basically scoring a goal every other game. I don't necessarily see that right now from him, but I think he'll take more of a bridge deal, kind of what Hurdle did. So I don't think he'll break the bank. the like I said, you can free up quite a bit of cap space between Braun and between Melker Carlson, but you also got Brendan Dillon as well, and Brendan Dillon has started to become kind of a key cog in the defensive wheel, and especially this year, he's played very, very well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, go Alex.
I was just say like EK65 won't sign less than 8, and I don't see a lot of teams now in the HL that won't sign the Drew Doughty deal, which is the 11 million per year, which has really hurt the Kings in a lot of ways. I think spending Vlasic 8, Burns 8, potentially EK65 9 to 10, your back end is going to be crippling your forwards.
But I think that the Sharks see it as, if we can generate the offense from the back end, it makes the forwards better. And I think that you definitely see that this year. You cannot be stressed how balanced this lineup is as far as goal scoring and as far as offensive output. And I think the real reason for that is the puck possession from the back end. And I think that that's kind of what Doug Wilson's master plan was. If he couldn't get a hold of somebody who was going to be a forward who would drive that play, he was going to get a defenseman that was going to be able to drive play from the back end. And I think it's proven out right. I think it was the right call.
Yeah.
It might have taken a little bit more to integrate him, and that's for sure. There was a lot of growing pains, but
growing pains. The San Jose Sharks.
Right.
Mike, Boner's at the door. Oh, not that growing pains, sorry. Okay. No. Wow.
No.
I guess I just showed my age. The way to leave me hanging there, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right, AOL. Take it.
Oh, all right, Nemo lover. All right, let's get into this. That's right. Your San Jose Barracuda were also playing tonight in Ontario as they took on the Ontario Reign. And good news is they had the lead. Bad news is, boy, howdy, did they just give it all away. Final score tonight from Ontario: the Reign 8, Barracuda 4. Early on in the second period, Antti Suomela scored his 4th goal of the season. That gave the Barracuda a 3-2 lead, and then Ontario would go on to score 3 goals in about 5 minutes to give them a 5-3 lead, and then Alexander True kind of interrupted the 6-goal onslaught in the final 40 minutes for the Reign. And a high shot affair, a combined 100 shots on goal between Cal Peterson and Antoine Bibeau. Bibeau stopped 37 of 44 tonight. Cal Peterson stopped 52 of 56 en route to the victory there. So the Barracuda lose 8-4. Another note in the AHL tonight, the Bakersfield Condors had their 17-game winning streak snapped by the Iowa Wild 1-0. And that kind of helps the Barracuda as they currently sit 3 points back, first place from Bakersfield in the Pacific Division. So quite interesting there for the CUDA. And we'll see what happens next. I believe if the website wants to open up for me, that'd be great. As I'm saying this, they play tomorrow in Bakersfield, and that's a 7 p.m. Start. That'll be on your Sharks and SAP Center app, so be on the lookout for that. So tonight they lose 8-4 to Ontario. Tomorrow night they play the Condors, who just had their winning streak snapped. And their next home game is March 6th, taking on those same Bakersfield Condors. So get your tickets now at sjbarracuda.com. But a tough one to take for the CUDA tonight as they lose a tough one, 8-4, the final there. So Guys, is it time?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
It's wrap around. For crying out loud. All right. Let's get to
Damn it,
the
Rocket.
action tonight.
Oh,
In
Rocket.
In Buffalo, a controversial ending to this one. Connor Sheary gets 2 goals, including the game winner in overtime, as the Sabres beat the Penguins 4-3. Tough one for them to take on that one. In New Jersey, Flyers 6, Devils 3. 3-goal third period for Philly gets it done. Konechny with 2 goals. Van Riemsdyk with 2 goals for the win for Cam Talbot. Maybe Cam Talbot's actually decent now. In front of a less boisterous crowd, the Islanders lose 3-1 to the defending Cup champs. Verona, Ovechkin, and Oshie with the three third period goals to give the Capitals the victory there. In Manhattan, Joel Armia with a hat trick gets the Canadiens a 4-2 victory over the Blue Shirts. Nemestikov and Brandon Lemieux get the goals for the Blue Shirts in the loss. There was a storm surge tonight like none other in Carolina. They did beat the Blues 5-2, but it wasn't until a surprise guest came on to help him celebrate the victory. Evander Holyfield went onto the ice to knock out Martinook at the end of the game as the Carolina Hurricanes win 5-2 over the St. Louis Blues, knocking the St. Louis Blues off of a hot streak. And speaking of finally getting on the hot streak, the Jets beat the Predators 5-3. Shifley, Connor, Wheeler, Myers, and newcomer Kevin Hayes with the goals there. The Jets get a much needed victory there. We want to say thank you to the Anaheim Ducks for absolutely nothing as they get shut out by the Golden Knights 3-0. Marc-Andre Fleury with the victory there. He gets his league-leading shutout. John Gibson obviously has lost how to play hockey since he played in the All-Star game. That is your update for the scores in the standings. Yes, we are no Rocket backhander, but work with us here while we do this. All right, folks? All right. Currently, if NHL.com wants to load, that would be great. Greatly appreciated, I must say. Currently,
Bros, what are we? What?
No. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. In the Western Conference, you have Winnipeg at 80, Nashville at 79, the Blues at 74. The Blues and the Jets have 3 games in hand on the Predators. That could change things in a heartbeat big time. Over in the Pacific, Calgary was idle tonight. The Sharks get the victory. They go to 84, pulling within 5, but of course, Calgary has one more game in hand. They have 2 on Vegas, who go to 75 and on a good run lately as well. In the wild card right now, Dallas clinging onto the number 1 spot at 69. Hilarious. Minnesota at 68. Colorado with the loss loses a chance to jump up to the number 1 wild card slot tonight. The Desert Dogs. That's right. The Arizona Coyotes are sitting just 1 point back of a playoff spot. Granted, they have 3 fewer
Bros.
Thank you. So they would need to make up on that in due time. But the Coyotes at 27.
Rose.
Thank you. But 67 points on the campaign. Chicago sitting 5 points back, along with Vancouver for that second wild card spot, currently held down by Minnesota and Edmonton, Anaheim, LA. Thanks for playing. So
Nice try.
And I'm not even gonna bother trying to do it in Rockets voice. If the playoffs started tomorrow, the Islanders would get scroll down. What? Not that far. No, back up to the east. The Islanders. The
Do we
Islanders would
really
get.
care about the East though?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see because Toronto's currently sitting in the number 3 spot, and they're going to get Boston again. Carolina and who was it? Washington.
Yeah.
In Carolina, Washington, the Islanders would get the worst wild card team that's in there, and Tampa would get the best wild card team. So Tampa Bay would get Columbus, and have fun with that. Columbus. Montreal would get the Islanders. That should be a good one. Pittsburgh on the outside looking in. The Flyers and the Sabres clinging on the playoff lives as we speak. In the West, you would have Winnipeg and I believe Winnipeg.
See,
Winnipeg's at 80, so Winnipeg would get Minnesota. Winnipeg would get Dallas. Calgary would get Minnesota. San Jose and Vegas, and then St. Louis and Nashville. That's our bad attempt to say if the playoffs started tomorrow.
So, this is all going to change tomorrow, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, let's hope for Calgary to go in the shitter, right, guys? I mean, like, come on, just keep winning. I mean, like, what deal with the devil did they strike to, like, keep this up?
Well, they obviously didn't strike a deal at the deadline.
Oh.
Except for Fantenberg, yeah. So
they got goaltending. How about that?
They do have good goaltending, although Mike Smith, it's like okay.
I would say their goaltending is okay. I wouldn't say it's good. I think Riddick is a nice little find, but I am still not convinced. And I've always said that their goaltending was going to be their Achilles heel, and I still think so.
In the chat, will you accept this rose? Apparently we're doing Teal Town Bachelor in the chat room as we do it. This week that. I wonder if anybody in the West is mathematically eliminated. No, believe it or not, not yet. Felix saying start that short house GoFundMe.
No, Felix, no.
What? No.
Like a tiger, God, never a lost short house opportunity.
Steve Cropper, lose a peg. I like that. What's Laurel saying? Who has a heart like hers?
Who has a black heart like mine?
Oh, it's a black heart. Okay, I thought it was just a heart.
Oh, short house apparently. Wow, that's wow. What the hell is happening here? I'm working and not reading the chat. You're not missing too much, Andy. You're just missing that that the Sharks win 4-3 over the Colorado Avalanche. They play on Sunday. Yes, a rare 7 p.m. Sunday game at the Tank as they take on the Chicago Blackhawks at the Tank. With that, Pucknologist is moved to Monday, so be aware of that program change. Be on the lookout for that. And of course, if you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check us out at tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, and the YouTube channel there. As we said, the Blackhawks come to town on Sunday. That's a 7 p.m. start. We'll be back with you for that.
Trap game.
Trap game and a desperate game for Chicago as they try to stay in this playoff race for sure. So with that, we will close the books on another edition of After Dark. So we go to final thoughts and where the people can find them. And we start with Mr. Al Martinet.
Final thoughts. Sorensen, 2 goals. Played pretty consistently all night. Nyquist still working his way into the lineup. Joe Thornton, one of his best seasons the last couple of years. Solid effort. Not bad. The third line is going to be one of our best lines. Really solid effort all the way around. It's just Jones, and I'm really concerned about what's going on with him. Like, it just seems like he has one of those nights where he just can't get fluky goals for some reason. So it seems like we're going to have that throughout the season, and hopefully he clears that up. But Jones is going to be Jones, and yeah. But you can find me on $1. Thank you, Laurel. But but you can find me on Twitter at Al Martinet, free to chat hockey, free to talk video games. Yeah, I'll see you guys later.
Thanks so much, Al. Appreciate it. Mr. Landy, your final thoughts and where the people can find you.
Well, my final thoughts are, let's just score more than the opponent, and then we don't have to worry about goaltending, right, guys? No, in all seriousness, though, I echo exactly kind of what Al's saying about the goaltending. He's got to show us that he can steal some games, right? And I think right now the Sharks are winning. They're winning with a little bit more firepower versus the defensive game. I want to see them go into the defensive clampdown in these last few games that we've got left. Tune it up at home. And as far as where you can find me, you can use my first name. That's Eric spelled the right way. And my last name, Landy, that's Landi, on all of the social media garbage.
And of course, you can find me on the Twitter and Instagram at PuckGuy14. We do this after every single show, so by all means, hit that and smash that subscribe button. Yes, just obliterate it, folks. We'll be back with you on Sunday night following Sharks and I almost said Blue Jackets, Blackhawks.
Words are hard.
Yeah, words are hard, and
teams are hard.
Yes, and life as in hockey, it takes goals to win, and words are just not coming out properly, folks. All right, I swear I haven't been drinking. So with that, we will see you Sunday night, and until then, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real, teal. We'll see you Sunday night, everyone. Have a great one, and don't forget to check out the website for Felix's hockey takes. Good night, everyone.